Please note that the content of this episode has explicit language and is not suitable for underage listeners. Hi, I'm CJ, and I've done phone sex for 23 years. Let's get started. I've received a lot of questions and inquiries about a topic that I think I will talk about today, and that is the man with the little dick. People are always really curious about that. And so I figure, why not spend a little bit of time talking about it? I've told you about all my callers who want me to humiliate them or tell them how small they are. So let me tell you about another story, another call, and then I will go to the question or the comments that I've received. So I recently had a call from a guy who has a girlfriend. I'm not sure if they're girlfriend, boyfriend, or if they're just friends. And he says to me, I don't know if my little dick still works. Whenever he says that to me, I kind of laugh. I said, well, when was the last time you had sex? This call was on a Thursday, and he said it was Sunday, so that was 4 days before the call. I said, well, if you had sex a few days ago, obviously it works. He said, well, we really didn't have sex. I didn't finish. I said, well, is that because of her or you? And he was trying to manipulate me because he kept saying, you're the only one that can do it for me. You're the only one that could do it for me. You're the only one that can get me hard. You're the only one. And I know that's just a load of bull, but I said, okay. And within a few minutes, he was very happy and he was ejaculating. He laughed and I said, you were just saying that. You can get hard. You can come without me. He said, yes, but never as good as when I talk with you. You know what to say. While we were on the call, he kept telling me to tell him how small he is. And I tell him, I'm sure you're not that small. He says, but I'm 3.5 inches. And I said, I don't believe you. We have that type of a relationship where we can have that type of banter. He's been calling me for a while. I don't believe him. And it doesn't matter whether it's true or not. It's the fantasy that he wants to have. He keeps asking me if I want a picture. And I say, no, I believe you. I believe you. He goes, I'll even get a ruler out. And I'm like, no, you don't have to do that. That is not necessary. I had a new caller recently who wanted to also talk about how small he was. So he proceeds to tell me that he goes to the gym and he says he's not gay, which obviously wouldn't matter one way or the other, but he wanted to make it clear that he wasn't gay. Okay. So he goes to the gym and after he's done, he goes and takes a shower like many people do. And he says that there was a time that he was in the shower and there were a couple other guys there. And he said at this gym that he goes to, the showers aren't private. And so he heard these two guys talking about how small he was. And at first he was embarrassed and then he got turned on. He says it doesn't matter who humiliates him. It's a turn on. He wanted to know what I thought. That's why he really called me. Again, he wanted to know, does it make him gay? And I said, I didn't think so. And that it really doesn't matter. He got excited, so it doesn't matter if he's gay or not. He proceeded to tell me he went to the bathroom and in his words, rubbed one out. He was more embarrassed by that than the guys saying that they had never seen such a small dick. He overheard them saying how small he was and that they probably would never ask a girl out or have sex again if they were so small. He said he did see theirs and they were quite large. He admitted that he liked hearing that and he has since gone back to the gym and only heard it once again. He does seek out beautiful women so that when they start to get intimate, the women do say something most of the time. He says he's been told, how do you expect to please me with that small thing? I think that would be quite hard to deal with on a regular basis. And he, to be honest, doesn't really seem to mind. I don't know how you can grow a thick skin about that because that's pretty important. But like I've said, everybody's got their thing. He told me he's not going to stop going to the gym and taking a shower, and he hopes that he continues to hear people make fun of him. No one has confronted him yet. It's always behind his back, except for the women he's gone out with. But he does hope that one day someone will say something to his face. Just thinking about it got him aroused and got him to where he needed to be talking to me. Which segues into the question everybody wants to know the answer to, and that is, what is with these men who want to be humiliated about how small they are? Which goes along with the same topic as last week, because most cuckolds, not all, of course, but most are men who are small. So that rolls over into this topic of small dicks. You know, last week was, guys watching their women because they're too small, and now it's just they're small and want to be humiliated in so many different ways. I have scratched my head in wonder for years about why a guy wants to be humiliated about their size. I've heard men talk about measuring how big or small they are. On my calls, many times, I'm asked, do I like a large penis? And of course I say yes. But what is large to one is not the same to another. It put me in such a quandary for so long, I had to find out a way to find out more. To me, it would hurt my feelings if someone special, someone I know, said something disparaging about me, like for a girl, me. It would be something like, your pussy isn't tight or it's gaping. I don't know. My point is that it's not nice. I've asked callers and they just can't explain it. At the very end, after we're done, it's like, can I ask you a question? And they don't really seem to want to answer. So I looked it up because I had to. I had to give myself answers. I had to give myself and other people answers if there is an answer out there. This is what I found out. So besides asking a couple of guys, like I said, I looked it up on the internet because the men said that it was something exciting and they really couldn't explain exactly what it was. They just got a feeling whenever some woman, a pretty woman, would tell them how small they are. So online, I read many times that it's something about hearing the harsh truth. It's taboo hearing things normally a partner would never say, but they say it anyway. So something that somebody wouldn't normally say, but they say it to you anyway. Initially, people find it upsetting, of course. Of course they do. But the feeling of being upset goes away, and somehow it turns into excitement. So a couple of guys would say it's like a roller coaster or a scary movie. Part of you is scared or upset, but at the same time, it's exhilarating and exciting. Then there is the micro penis. And those people love to be made fun as well. And some people can't even tell you why. It's just the excitement of being made fun. It's really hard to express, for these men, to express why they enjoy it. They can't tell me why they enjoy it. They just do. And maybe there's no reason, and maybe it just is the way it is, and maybe it's deep down and they can't express it because they don't fully understand it themselves. Most people don't want to be made fun of. They want to be complimented. But these people like to be humiliated. That is their thing. That's what turns them on. It's like submission and humiliation is a form of excitement. That gets them sexually aroused, sexually excited. Negative attention is attention. I've said that for many years, and so this is no different. Men also love the fact that there are women out there who like a small penis. Not all women love large penises. It also does have to do with being submissive. Submissive men love to be humiliated. Not all, there is never all, but many. And so this is their way of being humiliated, being told how small they are, inadequate, unable to please a woman with that small thing. Don't even call it a penis, it's a nub. It can't be used. Look how useless it is. It's all very negative, but somehow that is a turn on. And for some men, they don't get used to it. And some men do. Depends on the relationship they're in or with the women they're with. So it's all very interesting to me. I think it's really super interesting. I didn't know it, but SPH is really small penis humiliation. It is a thing. And like any submission, domination, there's a lot of men who are very powerful during the day, and with their partner or whoever they're with, they like to be submissive. So that's giving control to their humiliator, if you will. Now, again, if you look online, it says that this is a healthy form of sexual play as long as respect and boundaries are maintained. And I think that with any role play or anything like that, you have to have boundaries. You know, people talk about safe words. So for small penis humiliation, it's the same. This is one of those fetishes that has never gone away from the phone line. I've had these types of calls for several years, and I don't see it as a fad or it going away anytime soon. I would say I get a couple of those a week. It's very, I don't want to use the word stable, but it's constant. It's one of those things that just keeps coming around. And when I think it's going away, if there's a week I don't get one, then I'll get 2 or 3. And I'm not good, and I've told you this from the very beginning, I'm not good at humiliation, but I'm good at light humiliation. So of course I can say, your dick is too small, you can't please me, I don't want to touch you, I'm going to fuck somebody else. I can say all that stuff. But to be really mean, like super mean, That I can't do, and I won't do it. Of course, I'll call you names like that one caller I have, the little dick loser who wants to be put in jail and he wants me to take his photo and show it all over the internet. I'll do that. Well, I won't really show his picture all over the internet, but I'll tell him I am. And I'll call him a little dick loser and that he's a loser, and I'll just keep using the word loser, and that's good enough for him. That is what I will do. But anything harder and harsher, I'm not so good at that. So that is the little dick. And if you have more questions about that or about cuckolding, because it really kind of is it goes together. It's not always. Some guys don't want their partner to fuck someone else. They just want to be made fun of. But, they definitely want to be humiliated, and that gets them aroused. So if you just call them names, sometimes you don't even need to touch them. They can touch themselves, and that's just enough to get them going and excite them. So that's all for now with the small dick conversation. But if you have any more questions or comments, please let me know. Thank you for listening to Secrets from a Phone Sex Queen, everything you always wanted to know about phone sex and more. Please reach out to me with your questions and comments, like I said, at phonesexqueen1@gmail.com. New episodes drop every Monday. Check me out on Facebook at CJ's Podcast and at Instagram and TikTok at PhoneQueen1. If you're listening on YouTube, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you get notified when a new podcast is dropped. I appreciate every single one of you. Happy Thanksgiving, and until next time, stay sexy.